I thought I would show a few of the items I've been playing with here lately. Start off, introduce you to the Voodoo Child. I hadn't named her yet. Maybe that's something that people, my followers on YouTube, can come up with a good suggestion. I thought of Blondie and Pearl, some of the obvious ones. Voodoo Child. It's a Fender Stratocaster. I believe it is a Mexican made one, which pretty much just means it was made for a little less money, and thus I could afford it. It costs a little less overall. I believe most of the parts and all are fairly quality. But I paid about half for it is what I might pay for the full-fledged American Standard, or whatever they call it, Stratocaster. So that's one item I've been playing with lately. Almost all the last 3 or 4 or 5 videos, I believe, have been featuring her. And I guess I prefer a female name. She just got too many curves to be a guy. And she does sound real sweet. Plus, I bought this nice little leopard skin strap for her, so she's definitely ready to prowl. Okay, enough of my sexism. I'm usually not quite that sexist. Alright, now this is another little toy been playing with lately. Bought it used as well. Most of these I buy used. It's a Digitech Whammy pedal. Has like a tuning and detuning harmonic feature, as well as a pitch shifter. So as you operate the pedal up and down, you get kind of a change in the sound of the pitch. That's really noticeable. And the one that was kind of recent, what was that one called? Voodoo Child. Was it Voodoo Child? I'm not sure. But a couple of them I do play around with that in there. It's been kind of fun. It's a little bit gimmicky, so I kind of try to use it only just once in a while, sparingly. Of course, there's my Rocktron Hush the pedal noise suppressor. I've used that pretty consistently. I've noticed, though, with the current setup of pedals, I've been able to turn it back quite a bit. In fact, right now I got it set on minimum. I'm not sure if it's because the pedals are that quiet and the guitar, or whether squelching it way up when you turn it more suppression takes away so much of the sound that you don't hear much of the guitar anymore. But I've got that turned way off, way low. And then here's an Electro Harmonix graphic fuzz pedal I've been fiddling around with a little bit. Hardly enough to really learn it, though. It's kind of complicated. We've got the fuzz switch here, on or off. And then you've got an overdrive, distortion lever, dynamics, and sustain in the envelope. The graphic EQ, which is across here, the graphic equalizer, low to high hertz. And then a general master volume there, and the on and off with a little light diode there. Got it pretty much just bland across the middle. Tried moving the graphic equalizer up and down a little bit, but kind of like the full flavor coming out of it. I have to play with that some more to get the hang of it. And then here's an interesting one from Joyo. It's real cheap. Brand new, these pedals are only like about $40, $50. I forget exactly what. But that's pretty cheap as far as pedals are concerned, especially ones that are fairly complex. This one purports to be the British sound, Harmonix. I grew up with a lot of the British invasion music of the 60s and all, so kind of like that whole tonal quality of some of the British guitars, distortion and all. Haven't fooled with this too much, but it does seem to give you some of that kind of distortion effect. Has low, mid-range, and high-range, level, voice, and drive. And then, of course, the switch on or off. And then this has been the biggest change of my recent videos, is the Jam Man. It's a Digitech pedal. Looper phrase sampler. Jam Man Solo HC. And it is just a lot of fun. It has its own onboard rhythm, which you've got, I think, a few different rhythm types to choose from. And then it has where you can store a little sample and then you play a little bit and then hit the pedal and it will repeat that phrase over and over again. And then you can change the tempo of the rhythm. And then I think it even lets you play on top of what you saved. So if you play a little sample and keep that phrase repeating, then you can play alongside of it and not record on top. Or you have the option to play alongside of it, having it record what you're playing and adding it to the repeating part, so that then the new stuff repeats along with the other part that was already repeating. And I just hadn't got the hang of it yet. It's a little bit complicated. But I can get it to start up and start the first phrase and start a rhythm, and then I just jump in there. You know, you guys have heard it if you've been listening to my channel here last few weeks. A lot of weird stuff going on there. And one other pedal I've played with some in the last few videos, but not the most recent ones. And that's this Black Star HT Distortion, pure valve distortion. I think I've mentioned it, but it's real nice. It's actually got one of your vacuum tubes in there, so you get kind of the effect of the vacuum tube amps. I believe that would have that distorted sound. It's purporting to be able to give you some of that flavor. And for its knobs, we got gain, bass, middle, treble, ISF, and I'm not sure what that is, and level. Overall, real nice, consistent, standard distortion pedal, with the added advantage of it having that valve, pure valve tube, I guess it is, distortion sound to it. And that's a little bit about what I've been doing lately. Hope that has satisfied the questions of some of the equipment files. What's the word for it? It's not audio files. Pedal files? No, that's a little too much like something else. Effectophiles. There you go.